Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Kent Lutzen. We begin tonight in Lake County, where 4 people have been arrested in the latest of a series of drug raids in Polson. Police officers with assistance from Flathead Tribal Police Department executed 2 search warrants on Saturday evening. MTN's Lauren Heiser joins us live, and she has more information. Lauren.
Thanks, Kent. Polson Police Sergeant George Simpson said that as a result of the raids, several children were removed from dangerous living conditions. Simpson said that the department has shifted its focus towards protecting children from drug-addicted caregivers and unhealthy environments. He said that this has been the focus for 2 years, but the last 2 months is when they've started to issue search warrants.
The youth of our community is the most important thing to us, and that's why we've kind of shifted our focus, at least for our department, from the war on drugs to focus on rescuing the children in drug houses and drug situations. Obviously, the war on drugs across the country, from our perspective, isn't really working the way we'd like to see it, so we've shifted the focus.
Though the goal is to remove these children from unhealthy circumstances, Simpson said that the last thing that they want is to keep these families apart.
It's important that people realize that these are not problem parents, these are not problem people, these are parents with a problem and people with problems. Sometimes they need that jail intervention so they can help get cleaned up and get in the drug treatment facility. That's what people need, and so they can get their children back. I mean, that's the goal. Is we're not trying to break up family.
They try to place children who are removed from their homes with another family member while parents seek treatment. Kent, now back to you.
Thanks, Lauren. The Polson Police Department encourages people to come forward with any information regarding children that may be in a dangerous situation. And moving on to weather, the Montana Department of Transportation is reporting many northwestern roads as snow and ice covered, and will continue to see some of that precipitation throughout the night. With the latest, let's kick it over to meteorologist Russ Thomas. Russ.
Thank you. Yeah, that is right. What we do have for you out there, precipitation mainly in the form of rain coming down across western Montana. Do want to get to a winter weather advisory, though. Here's what we've got for you. You've got up to 6 inches of snowfall possible in these areas, and again, some of that falling after midnight. And also northeast wind about 30 to 40 miles per hour just in a few spots, but enough to cause slick roads and some issues out there for sure. So again, this does include the Flathead and Mission Valley. Satellite radar continues to show precipitation moving in and through western Montana. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll let you know how long this messy weather is going to last.
Thanks, Russ. The latest campaign fundraising numbers are in for Montana's U.S. Senate and U.S. House races this year. MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison tells us who has the money and what the numbers mean.
The biggest race in Montana this year is the re-election battle for Democratic U.S. Senator Jon Tester, and he easily has the biggest campaign bank account. Tester reported Wednesday that he raised another $1.5 million for the 3 months ending in December. His total for the entire campaign has now topped $9 million, and he ended the year with $6.3 million in his campaign account. None of his potential Republican rivals is anywhere close to that. Big Sky businessman Troy Downing collected $857,000 through December, but 75% of that amount is his own money. State Auditor Matt Rosendale took in $760,000, and former State Judge Russell Fagg of Billings about $615,000. When it comes to cash in the bank, Tester has at least 10 times the money starting this year. We also have the latest figures on Montana's U.S. House race, where Republican Greg Gianforte is running for re-election to a second term. Gianforte had raised about $543,000 through December and ended the year with $345,000 in his campaign account. 2 of the Democrats hoping to challenge Gianforte are raising serious money. Former Land Trust manager Grant Keir of Missoula took in $441,000 last year, and Billings attorney John Heenan reported Wednesday that his campaign took in $577,000, although $200,000 of that is a loan from his own pocket. But while Heenan and Keir are doing well in the fundraising game, they'll have to spend that money running against each other in their bid to win the Democratic primary on June 5th. 3 other Democrats also are in the House race. The candidate with the most campaign money doesn't always win, of course, but in crowded races like these, it gives us a pretty good idea of who the contenders are. Mike Dennison, MTN News, Helena.
The deadline for reporting 2017 fundraising totals was Wednesday. The next report won't be filed until April. As the Bullock administration prepares to make some big cuts in human services programs, it's been blaming Republican lawmakers for the state's budget predicament. But a leading GOP legislator Friday said the administration chose the cuts and has options to defray them. State Senator Lou Jones of Conrad told MTN News that the governor's office originally proposed the cuts to health care services for the disabled and the poor. Bullock proposed the cuts last year as the state's revenue picture began to unravel. A special session of the legislature in November approved some of the cuts and also offset a $227 million budget shortfall with some account transfers. Bullock administration officials say Republicans are to blame for refusing to consider tax increases during the special session, but Jones says tax revenue is starting to bounce back and that Bullock can and should consider whether the cuts could be reduced. The governor's office told MTN that it has little choice but to proceed with the cuts because of legislative action. The flu epidemic is not letting up. 42 states saw high levels of activity last week. So far this season, 53 children have died. David Bagno has more on this issue.
7-year-old Savannah Jessie loved to draw and color, according to her obituary. The first grader from Indiana was found unresponsive at home after testing positive for influenza B, strep throat, and scarlet fever. The local coroner is now investigating her death.
We're seeing deaths increase in children and adults.
Dr. Ann Shuckett is acting director of the CDC.
So far this year, 53 children have died from influenza. So it's proving to be a very difficult season.
That's in part because this season the most common virus is H3N2, which typically means more cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, especially among the elderly. On top of that, a report out of Canada this week found that the vaccine has only been 17% effective against that strain of the flu. Still, doctors and public health officials say vaccines are the best defense from the virus.
We may have several weeks left in this year's flu season.
There is widespread flu activity in every state across the country, except Oregon and Hawaii. In Minnesota, where Super Bowl 52 will be played in Minneapolis, the name of the game is disinfecting. Pink, who will perform the national anthem, has announced she has the flu. Her husband tweeted she's sick as a dog, but it's not enough to give Pink the blues. She will perform tomorrow night.
So if you do get the flu, antiviral medications can really help. Now, it's recommended that you start them as soon as possible. A flu shot is suggested for everyone 6 months and older, and getting a shot may actually mean that the symptoms are not quite as severe if you end up with the flu. David Begno, CBS News, New York.
According to the Montana Department of Health and Human Services, flu activity is widespread across the state. Influenza activity increased during week 4 of 2018 with 723 new cases reported from 43 counties. All but one county has reported at least one case of influenza, 3,289 cases, 423 hospitalizations, and 21 deaths due to the influenza have been reported so far this year in the Treasure State. Up next, there may be 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl as we speak, but there is a third team keeping everyone safe. Plus, we have an update on the Las Vegas shooting investigation. Stick around.